What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today let's get started with Jon Jones breaking his silence on a potential Tom Aspinall fight. Jon Jones has not had much to say publicly about Tom Aspinall in recent months. However, with Aspinall still holding the interim heavyweight title, Jones now appears to be acknowledging that a fight between them could make sense. For a while, fans, pundits and fighters have been calling for Jones versus Aspinall. The complication has been that both the UFC and Jones were targeting a fight with Stipe Miocic, which left uncertainty about if or when Jones and Aspinall would meet. That UFC 304 Aspinall took another major step toward forcing the issue by quickly finishing Curtis Blaydes. After that win, Jones posted a message saying, "Supply and demand at its finest, I love it." Many see that as a subtle acknowledgement that the fight is gaining momentum. Up until now, Jones has largely focused on Miocic while defending that matchup. Meanwhile, Aspinall continues to campaign for a unification bout with the former light heavyweight king and current heavyweight champion. Following his win at UFC 304, the British star shared a video calling for the fight directly. With momentum building and fan demand growing, the pressure for Jones versus Aspinall is higher than ever.
I'm the best heavyweight in the world. Prove me wrong, John. If you think you are, prove me wrong. Simple, nothing personal. I ain't hating on nobody. I'm the best heavyweight in the world. If you think you are, let's settle it. Simple as that.
Week Dana White confirmed that the winner of Aspen Blaydes will fight the winner of Jones Meek, but the way Aspen is talking, you have to wonder if maybe he's hoping to push the UFC to abandon that bout and go with the unification fight next. Of course, it could be that he's just assuming that Jones will beat Meek, which, let's be honest, a lot of people are doing. But what do you think? Should the UFC shell the Jones Meek fight and go forward with a heavyweight unification bout? Dana White releases fighter from the UFC. Fighter from the UFC Muhammad Makh has been regarded as one of the top prospects in all of mixed martial arts for some time now, never mind just the flyweight division, but it looks like UFC 304 will likely mark the last time we see Mive in the octagon. The Dagestan-born UK fighter faced Manel Kopp on Saturday night and worked his way to a unanimous decision when the fight immediately drew fire online, since it didn't feature the ferocity most people were expecting on account of not one but two pre-fight altercations that they had leading up to UFC 304. Well, after the fight, which was the last on MV's UFC deal, he claimed that the promotion warned him not to wrestle too much against Kopp. According to the 23-year-old, the UFC brass did so because a new deal was contingent on whether the Kopp fight.
They said they're gonna see how I perform. They don't want to see me keep shooting and taking somebody down, but I've done what I could do with like tonight. Yeah, they don't like this because they try to get rid of flyweights before, and they don't want this kind of fight. But listen, I'm young, I'm still not in my prime. If they want me to stand and bang with toe-to-toe with this like 30 years old grown man, I have to do what's best for me to win.
Dana White told the media that the promotion will not be re-signing Muhammad Mokaff. He also dismissed the claim that the decision had anything to do with Mokaff wrestling too much in his fight at UFC 304. White made it clear that the choice was not based on fighting style alone, pushing back on the idea that Mokaff was cut for being too grappling heavy. Instead, the UFC president suggested there were other factors behind the scenes that led to the decision. The news came as a surprise to many fans given Mokaff's undefeated record and status as one of the top young prospects in the flyweight division.
He's not on a contract anymore. I think the PFL is going to get a great undefeated guy.
Why?
None of the above. Listen, for whatever reason, the stuff that played out here over the last several months, started at the PI and other stories of this breaking out, plus many other things. These guys don't want to re-sign him.
You never know what can happen in the future, but right now it certainly looks like Muhammad Mokaff's time in the UFC is over. The promotion has already removed him from the flyweight rankings, which is usually a clear sign that the split is official. That leaves fans wondering what the real story is. Was Mokaff released because of his grappling heavy style, or were there other issues behind the scenes, as Dana White suggested? Up next, Khabib reacts to Belal Muhammad's title win. Following Belal Muhammad's clear and somewhat surprising victory over Leon Edwards at UFC 304, Khabib Nurmagomedov was quick to praise the new welterweight champion. After the fight, Dana White pointed to Belal's time training with Khabib as a major factor in the win, while also making comments about the entertainment value of the bout. However, Khabib dismissed the idea that the result was simply about training with him and instead gave credit to Muhammad's preparation, discipline, and execution. Coming into the fight, many believed Belal would struggle to take Edwards down, especially since Edwards had successfully defended the wrestling of Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington in previous title defenses. Instead, Muhammad was able to secure multiple takedowns, control the grappling exchanges, and dominate his way to a championship victory. With the belt now around his waist, Belal has made it clear he is confident in his skills and ready to prove that his reign is just getting started.
I think I'm the best fighter in the world. I know I'm the best fighter in the world. I just had to prove it, and I had to show you guys. We had 3 years to sit there, and I had to sit there and dwell on that thing, that last fight of everybody saying, oh, he would have beat him, he would have won the last other rounds, he would have did this, he would have did that. We didn't even get started that fight. This fight, we got started. This is what we did. We just dominated the champion. We made it look easy, and we did it better than Kobe did, better than Usman did. And
it will be interesting to see how long Belal Muhammad can hold on to the belt. The newly crowned champion was asked about a potential matchup with the surging Shavkat Rakhmonov and said he is open to the fight. Love his style or not, no one can question his determination and resilience. Now to some UFC fight updates. Although the UFC's 2024 schedule is nearing its end, the matchmakers are still adding key bouts. At UFC 305 in Australia, Dan Hooker has confirmed he will face fellow lightweight contender Mateusz Gamrot. It will be intriguing to see whether Hooker can neutralize Gamrot's high-level grappling. The same card also saw a change as Casey O'Neill steps in to fight Luana Santos after Teresa Bleda withdrew. In addition, undefeated flyweight Clayton Carpenter is set to face Lucas Rocha at the UFC's October 12th Fight Night card, though the official venue and location have not yet been announced. Meanwhile, UFC 306 at the Sphere will feature a bantamweight showdown between contenders Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. Now moving on to Paddy Pimblett, talking about a potential Ilia Topuria fight. As things stand, Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria appear to be on very different career paths. However, due to their rivalry, Paddy was asked about possibly fighting the featherweight champion in the future. Pimblett recently defeated Bobby Green at UFC 304, submitting him with a triangle choke and turning heads across the MMA world. After the fight, Paddy made it clear he would be open to facing Topuria even if it could not happen at featherweight, joking that there is no way he could make 145 pounds without drastic measures. He also emphasized that the fight would sell regardless of whether a title was on the line. Following his big win, Pimblett openly admitted that proving his doubters wrong felt very satisfying, showing once again that he thrives on the criticism.
There is but I can't make featherweight, lad. I'd have to chop me leg off. There's no way I'm making 145. But no, I don't think it'd have to be for the title. I think I'd sell it anyway.
Fan of Paddy Pimblett or not, there is no denying he made a serious statement at UFC 304. Up next, the MMA community reacts to Dana White's announcement. That if you watched the post-fight press conference for UFC 304, you probably noticed that Dana White seemed to be in a sour mood. He voiced frustration about several topics, including Belal Muhammad's performance and the situation surrounding Muhammad Mokaff, along with other questions from the media. White was also asked whether the UFC might permanently increase post-fight bonuses from $50,000 to $100,000 per event. He had agreed to raise the bonuses to $100,000 for UFC 304 during the pre-fight press conference. However, when asked about making that change permanent, he gave a fiery response that made it clear he was not committing to that increase moving forward. His tone and comments quickly sparked debate online, with fans and media members weighing in on everything from fighter pay to performance expectations and the overall direction of the promotion.
Everyone underestimates me, lad, just because I look like a 14-year-old girl. Know what I mean? You can't beat shutting some heads up. It's brilliant. I love shutting haters up, lad. The amount of people that I've seen say he's never gonna be ranked, he's not good enough to be ranked, he'll never be in the top 15. All that, even fighters I've seen on YouTube, people talking and then they just go out there and put on a flawless performance.
The backlash to Dana White's comments was immediate. Ariel Helwani was among those who pointed out that the card took place in the early hours of the morning local time. Many fans argued that the unusual start time may have affected the atmosphere inside the arena as well as the overall energy of the event. Online critics did not hold back. Some blamed the UFC for scheduling issues, production problems, and what they felt were underwhelming performances. Others accused White of shifting responsibility onto the fighters rather than acknowledging logistical challenges like the late start time. There were also theories that rising production costs for upcoming events could be influencing decisions around bonuses. Ultimately, the debate centers on whether White was simply being honest about his expectations or whether he crossed the line by publicly criticizing his roster. Now moving on to Merab Dvalishvili calling out a UFC referee. Merab Dvalishvili has made it clear on multiple occasions that he is not a fan of referee Mark Goddard. Recently he criticized Goddard again, accusing him of stopping fights too early. Dvalishvili specifically referenced the bout between his teammate Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley. In that fight, Sterling was dropped by a sharp counter shot, and as O'Malley followed up, the referee stepped in to stop the contest. According to Dvalishvili, the stoppage came too soon, and he believes Goddard did not follow the instructions he was giving Sterling during the sequence. Speaking recently, he reiterated that he feels some fights are being halted prematurely and that consistency from referees is crucial at the highest level of the sport. The comments have reignited discussion among fans about stoppages, fighter safety, and referee discretion inside the octagon.
Stopping them doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anybody fight any harder. It doesn't change anything. I'm not doing this again. Ever. Today was the last day that I'm doing that. Yeah. Not saying that in the future the bonuses couldn't get up, but I'm not gonna be at a press conference and say 200, 300. Never again. Never again. So you can thank everybody on this card for that.
Well, not surprisingly, Grumpy